Hi and welcome to another edition of UK Web Series. I'm here with Robin and Rhys from Twisted Showcase. Hi guys.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how you doing?
So, who's the writer, who's the director, or do you do both?
Yeah, kind of all chip in with a bit of both really.
Yeah, we're both writing, we both sort of make the episodes.
So, Twisted Showcase, what is the pitch?
Distinctive, innovative, dark stories, I think.
But it's anthology.
Yeah,
I mean, for most people, when they think web series, they're thinking something more episodic. But you actually, what you're doing is different stories, possibly even different writers and maybe different directors.
Yeah, different writers, different stories, different directors every episode. So different genres really as well. Every episode is trying something, maybe with the same kind of dark tone, but something a bit different, surprising and shocking every month at the moment. But first series every week, second series every month, and just trying different things with it. I think we have about 3 psychological horror episodes and then hit them with a comedy after that, just to mix it up a bit, maybe mislead people which way it was going, to put a bit of surprise in there. I mean, I think we've opened the first 2 with kind of twisted comedies, series 2 really as well.
And so what are your influences?
For this, I suppose it would probably be, as silly as it sounds, like the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror for what we've been doing. Because I think when Robin was first talking about doing a web show, so Robin was saying it would be a bit like Treehouse of Horror. I was like, oh, I love those, so I guess that would be for...
All the kind of British anthology shows like Tales Unexpected and obviously the where it all started with the Twilight Zone really, that was kind of the pitch. And then I know Rhys said something like Space he wanted to do, and we said to keep it kind of domestic. And I said, well, instead of having a returning cast, it might be easier to try and have an anthology, so you can change the cast each time rather than having to shoot big kind of blocks. And so we try and shoot each episode in a day, maybe sometimes going over 2 days.
I suppose the thing about an anthology series is actually there was something that was very popular, Tales Unexpected in the 70s, but it's not really something that you would really get on television these days because you don't have a regular cast. So there's you can't necessarily put a star that covers the whole series.
Yeah.
So is this your reason for making it as a web series?
I guess we kind of thought there wasn't many other anthology shows out there, but after we started making it, we kind of found that there was a few anthology shows, and that's when we decided to make it kind of a bit more distinctive, and the fact that we'd kind of genre hop a little bit and be a bit more kind of free with that, so it wasn't just like a horror anthology. And when we kind of felt it's kind of a showcase for our talent, so hopefully we can move up to kind of TV or something like that. And hopefully the fact that there's none means there's a bit of a gap there. And it'll seem, I think to an audience nowadays, it might seem kind of new and innovative because they haven't had this in their generation. It's been about 20 years, I think, since the last anthology show on TV.
The feeling I got when I was watching it, in particular I think the one about the guy who's in fear, and he's watching the recording of himself. There's very much almost like a found footage, like somehow you're not meant to be watching these stories. But you're sort of crashing in on someone's very private sort of angst or fears. And
I think that comes from that kind of paranormal activity feeling that you kind of shouldn't be watching it, and you kind of are seeing that, and that makes it, the fact that it's set. I always say the fact it's set in a home is scary because everyone has to live in a home really. So you can kind of relate to it easily, and that it kind of could happen in your house, and that kind of setting is something we wanted in from the start really.
Yeah. You know, I quite like the idea that it feels quite handmade, so it feels quite accessible to anybody. You look at it and you think I could have a go at that as well, which is why I wanted to try and do a Twisted Showcase, was make it so people could feel like they could join in. And that's why we do the script submissions, the idea that it's a showcase not just for ourselves but for anybody that wants to sort of come along and join in, because we've got a bit of an extended creative team that we work with and we bring in to work on various other aspects of the show. Yeah, we put out 2 script calls really. The first one I just put on my blog really when we were putting together the shows, basically just people who were following myself or Rhys on Twitter or whatever, and then I think series 2, because we had Gareth David Lloyd in an episode and got named top 25 web show in The Guardian, that I think a lot of people were kind of more eager to submit, so got a few more submissions through that.
How did Gareth get involved in the show?
We were at the Wales Comic Con, and he was a guest there. I was talking to James Moran, and I was saying, we're starting this web show, we've got this script that really needs a great actor for it, because it requires kind of two roles, and kind of really bad guy and a really good guy, yet they're kind of two of the same person, really. I said, it'd be great if we get someone like Gareth to do it. And he said, why didn't you just ask him? I said, well, we haven't got any kind of background really in it. I know you had a web series, Night Killer web series, but we kind of just kind of said, send us a script, and I kind of thought, send it, and that would be it. And then he come back saying he really likes it, and liked the challenge of having the dual roles, and that's what attracted him to it. And I think that the important thing is having something that maybe an actor would benefit them to do. So he was really drawn to it and said he'd come down to film that. So very lucky, I think.
Having Gareth on board on your first episode, how was that as far as launching the series and then reaching out to fans?
It was the main thing I think we've done to reach out to fans. It got kind of coverage in websites across the board, from stuff like magazines to read like SFX to I think it maybe led to the Guardian thing, and we got quite a lot of coverage from that, especially for kind of Doctor Who sites as well. And I think he's got quite a cult following from Yanto Jones role. Apparently there's a shrine to him in Cardiff, which I didn't know about that really.
I didn't know about that, first time hearing about that.
But yeah, he has a cult of fans that are kind of like instantly followed us on Twitter and kind of asking lots of questions about Gareth and will he be in any more episodes.
So how's it been interacting with fans? Because obviously that's one of the things about web series. You have instant feedback.
Yeah, that's the thing I love about it, is that you get that feedback straight away. It's kind of like when you put the episode up, it's that kind of panic of how will this one go down and what's going to be the feedback to it. And so that is such a brilliant thing. I think it's starting to get it with TV now as well, isn't it? Because every programme I see on TV now has the hashtag to go with it on Twitter, and I think it's a good thing for media, and you are getting that instant feedback that you like we would get on a kind of stage performance or something. Now you can get it with something like with web series or TV shows, and I think it's really a really good thing.
Yeah, it's nice to sort of after we've watched an episode, we always end up panicking all day, how we're going to respond to this, and it's normally a bit of a sigh of relief between us, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's normally back and forth all day texting out, especially with the last one. We weren't too sure, because we weren't too sure about how it was going to be received, because we felt it was a little bit similar to the episode before, but people loved it almost straight away. We knew that it was a good one, I guess.
I mean, for you as filmmakers, having Gareth in a first episode, I guess, was a real blessing. What lessons did you learn as far as, I guess, doing publicity and how filmmakers should be doing publicity?
Well, we kind of made the series, and then we kind of gave ourselves a lot of gap to launch it, and then ended up kind of rushing things last minute and saying, oh, we've announced the date we're launching this. And so it was a kind of really last minute, kind of getting out press releases and putting out stuff to websites, and then even when we were sending them out, kind of thinking where to send them. And it was only an afterthought we made the list really, and then made contacts with the people who'd done them, and then because it was Gareth, had lots of people asking for interviews, and I still think there's lots of things we could do, and I think there's lots of innovative ways you can market on the web. It's just finding them, and maybe some of the ideas probably seem a bit silly at first, but I think with a web series, you've got to try and push things, because it's such a new form. I think
Sure. Yeah.
I think there's so many different ways to market it, and I think you just got to get creative about it. I don't think we have been particularly, but I think it's got to have ideas and really kind of start pushing it. And I think it should, content on the web grow. As you see, like even big companies doing it now, aren't they? With the Publicity Galactic one, and Brian Singer's doing his web series, isn't it? So I think it is hopefully it doesn't get taken away from kind of small independent filmmakers, because I think that'd be a shame. It's such a good way in, and even just to get the kind of feedback from work. And I think the thing with The Fear of Living, it was the first script I had that got made, and just the fact that I got feedback on it, and I thought, oh, I can do that differently next time. And I think it's a good learning process, as well as getting your name out so people can get to know your stuff and know about you.
When Guardian made that list of top shows. I think yours was the only British one, is that correct?
Vic and Bob are on there as well, with Afternoon Delight.
Doesn't really count because that's Vic and Bob, isn't it?
Yeah. I've often thought like tweeting like Bob Morton or something saying, "Oh, we're on the same list," and I think you just go, "No, I didn't even know about that list." But I'm kind of really chuffed about it, but I'm sure it doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, I think so. Anyway, I've not really checked.
Well, they say you're the only real independent.
Yeah. I remember seeing someone tweeted the list. I normally get The Guardian, I didn't that week.
Yeah.
And someone tweeted the list, I clicked on it, so I should do some research and find out which are the kind of best web series. And then someone else was like, I think we just had, I think we were just putting together series 2 and had kind of a bit of a, kind of a bit of a format disagreement about an episode. We were all kind of sulking with each other, and then I just rolled up and we're in top 25 of The Guardian. And we kind of all back together again. Yeah, let's get working on that episode again.
So what is your ambitions then for the future for Twisted Showcase and growing it?
Well, we're hoping to develop a TV series, and we're sort of shopping around a little bit at the moment, and we're thinking about maybe sort of branching out into maybe doing some sort of comic booky type stuff onto the website as well, and cross media platforming and just sort of spreading it out and trying to find new ways to explore the ideas of Twisted Showcase in different mediums. That's what Twisted Showcase is about, really. At the end of the day, is the ideas and exploring them and trying to get to something interesting at the end of the day.
I think the big focus is the TV project.
Yeah, at the moment
we're trying to get kind of a couple of bigger writers in, like Stephen Gallagher, got him on board to write and roll more, to hopefully up the profile of it. So hopefully when we're selling, obviously we're kind of new writers and we've got maybe the Guardian thing behind us and we've been at a couple of festivals with the films, but I think it might ease people's minds with writers like Stephen Gallagher on board, and then hopefully it'll be a platform for new writers as well to come on and write for that, because I think that's the kind of showcase element, is getting new talent, and it's good for us to kind of branch out and work with different people as well. That's one of the kind of main reasons we did it.
And the more fun aspect of Twisted Showcase as well is working with different people with different talents, because it just teaches us something new each time. So, definitely working with, say, like David Ruddy, one of the directors we've recently worked with. It was just, he's quite a technically minded filmmaker, so it was just nice to sort of have somebody around that's that way, because me and Robin are a bit more sort of airy-fairy arty with it, whereas we'll try and tell the story, in the best way, and he sort of, it was nice to have I suppose our first really sort of, what's the word for it?
Atmosphere. I think
atmospheric,
really more atmospheric than the rest we've done.
It's still got the Twisted Showcase tone to it, it's just a little bit more, it's getting more refined each time we come back to it, and that's what's nice to work with different talents, is that they sort of help find that tone in different ways, which every time is just a little bit different.
Because I think quite a lot of areas of Britain you can feel quite secluded from the industry, because the industry is just London really, and Manchester, I guess, with media scene moving to Salford, but being out kind of in the suburbs you can feel a bit distant from it, so it's good to kind of, I think I love Twitter, I'm on it quite a lot, and it's my kind of link up to other writers, and there's like a script chat thing every Sunday and stuff like that I'm always trying to get involved with, and stuff, just trying to link up with other writers. I think it's quite important to keep that going, and Twisted Showcase gives me the opportunity to do that and meet people like yourselves and like Roland today we've met, so it's great. I think I've gone off topic again.
That's great, guys. Well, thanks very much for being on the show, and really good luck with the future of it, and I look forward to seeing more episodes.
Yeah, well, the next one's probably my favourite of the series. I keep saying, and I'm really good. It's not one I've written, but I keep describing it as like a Wes Anderson directing a horror film, and hopefully. I thought initially I said it was like, it's our first Twisted Showcase romantic comedy, but it's really not.
And so the website?
www.twistedshowcase.com.
And Twitter?
I think it's just @twistedshowcase.
Great. Well, thanks very much.
Thanks a lot. That's
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're involved in the Twisted Showcase. How did you become to be involved in that?
I was just asked, and it's a privilege to be a part of the sort of the new craze of internet drama that's coming out at the moment. I did Girl Number 9 as well. Really enjoyed it, and I think it is sort of I think it is the future.
Yeah, people funding their own films and getting out there with a view to perhaps success elsewhere.
Exactly. Similarly to the music industry, I think it's going to change the sort of the sort of way films are made. You know, Netflix are now a production company.
Yeah.
It's internet revolution of drama, I think, coming out.